Hey guys, how's it going? Today we have a very special guest that will be joining our show. We want to welcome her to the Human Rights Radio Show. We have Dr. Sharita Yazid N.D., who is a Wholistic Lifestyle Consultant, specializing in Iridology, Reiki, Detoxification, Nutritional programs, weight loss, Herbal solutions, holistic mind, body, and spirit consultations, African dance instructor, founder of ACAWF, which stands for African Culture and Wellness Festival. She is also founder of the Vegan All-Star. She's a chef, Vegan All-Star chef. Oh my gosh. You guys are in for an awesome show today. And I am pleased to tell you more about Dr. Sharita, who is a naturopathic doctor from the U.S. and is now residing in Ghana as the CEO of New Body Products of Ghana, originally established in 1976 in Compton, California, U.S. Dr. Sharita has been helping people heal themselves through natural foods, herbal medicine, exercise, and meditation for over 30 years. The body has a physical, mental, and spiritual body, and that all three have to be addressed in order to bring the body back to its whole form. Growing up in her parents, Dr. Paul Goss and Mrs. Alazania Goss, natural food store in a predominantly black community where there is a high risk of hypertension, diabetes, heart disease, and depression. She saw the need to continue her parents' work of healing the community through holistic methods. Dr. Sharita's journey as a healer started with her father, Dr. Paul Goss, who is a world-renowned master iridologist and naturopath, and also founder of New Body Products. Dr. Sharita uses a variety of healing modalities to identify the imbalances in one's body to determine what programs to put her clients on. As a child, this is a quote from Dr. Sharita, as a child, I grew up in a household of holistic healers. I've been vegetarian since the age of 2 with a little backsliding here and there. I suffered with chronic bronchitis, which made it hard for me to function as a normal child. As a result of eating vegetarian, taking herbal medicine, and playing sports, I was able to control this ailment. I'm ageless, have 6 healthy children and 4 grandchildren. I am a life-aholic, passionate about African dance, energetic, and ready to take on the challenge of helping Africans heal globally. End of quote. Dr. Sharita, as I told you guys from the very beginning, she is a phenomenal woman and a great asset in the communities. Whatever she touches, it flourishes. It's a gold mine, and she has done just that. She has touched the hearts of many around the world. She has paved the way for many of us around the world. Dr. Sharita has made media appearances on TV3 Sunrise Morning Show every Saturday morning live since April 2012, teaching the healing benefits of natural food. Also, special appearances on Live FM, GTV, Skyy TV, Crystal TV, Multi TV, Net2, Radio Gold, Twin City Radio. She's going to have to correct me on the pronunciation of this name. Twin City Radio Takoradi, XFM, and Aseda FM Takoradi in Ghana. The Carl Nelson Show, WCLK and WRFG in Atlanta, Black Sentinel Los Angeles, LIB Radio, Innerlight Radio in the United States, and now she has appeared on Human Rights Radio. And we are just honored to have Dr. Sharita, who is world-renowned. I just love her energy. I love her spirit, and so will you. Dr. Sharita is hosting a series of holistic wellness classes, starting with vegetarian cooking classes featuring the Vegan All-Stars. This is more than just cooking classes. It is taught by health experts that teach the healing effects of food, information on how to cook to prevent disease and strengthen your immune system, as well as how to cook for people with hypertension, diabetes, heart disease, fibroids, cancer, and more. The participants will also learn the detrimental effects of food. We want to erase the myth that you can't enjoy a meal without meat. And that is so true. For those of you that are interested in reaching Dr. Sharita, for more information on Dr. Sharita, check out New Body Products, or ACAWF, which stands for African Culture and Wellness Festival. You can call her at 0241 453 871 in Ghana, or 770-316-4217 in the U.S. And also her email is Dr. Sharita, that's DRSHARITA @gmail.com, or info@ACAWF.com. Guys, I am so excited to have our beloved sister, friend, Dr. Sharita, on the line with us today. And I'm sure that you are as well. After hearing this magnificent background on our beloved sister, I want to now go to the line and bring her in. Dr. Sharita, how are you?
Greetings. I'm wonderful. I'm great. Wow. I think the show's almost over, right? I think I
no,
just
we're
got
only
tired.
just.
I'm like, did I do all of that?
Doctor, it is a pleasure and an honor having you on the show.
Yes, it's a pleasure to be on your show. It's always an honor to be able to share with the family. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I've shared just a little bit of information with our family about you and some of the initiatives that you have going on. And I tell you, I am just truly amazed at the great work that you have only just begun.
Yes, it's true. It's true. It's still a work in progress, and it's still a lot to do. And as a healer, you know, during this time, we all have to step up. All of us that are healers, we all have to step up because it's a lot of work to do.
This is true. No rest for the weary, I tell you that. And so
right.
You founded Vegan All-Stars and the other organizations that we mentioned. So take us back to the beginning. Take us back to the very beginning. What inspired you to leave America, go to Africa, start businesses, and pretty much just evolve from there? What was the inspiration?
Well, I always wanted to come to Africa right out of high school. My parents are Pan-African, and my father has always pushed, you know, that everybody that is African should go back to Africa, should make a visit or go live, or, you know, it was always about Africa, Africa, Africa. You know, all the images in the house, all the, you know, tape recordings, you know, Garveyites, you know, it was just constantly in our heads. We were always in the communities that supported that vision as well. So it was just always part of us, you know, because living in America or Americant, it's just one of those things where, as a black person, you just get tired of, you know, the same thing. It's just we go through phases. We think that we're okay. We think we arrive, and then, you know, something else happens, and then, you know, we're back in the same position, you know, after 400 or 500 years. So after a while, I'm thinking, you know, there's no point in trying to, you know, be here and try to change all of this. I'd rather just come to Africa where I want to, live free and not have to deal with a lot of the ills that we have in America. So I came first in 2006 after marriage, 6 children, breastfeeding, and all of that. And then I finally had the opportunity to come. And then when I did come, it was like, wow, this is like people describes it to you. My parents had been, people try to tell you about it, but it's like trying to tell a woman who hasn't bared a child what it feels like to be pregnant. I can tell you everything, but you'll never understand until you actually go through the experience. So coming here was an amazing eye-opener for me. It was beyond my imagination. Even though I knew I wanted to be here, it was still more than what I thought it would be. Thought it would be a lot less than what I was received with. I first went to Egypt for like 3 days, and then we came to Ghana. And then I was able to move around. I was with a group of 80 people, the 2020 group out of Philadelphia. And so as I got a chance to move around, there was opportunity to kind of go off the tour because the tours, show you so much, but then it's kind of hard to see how people are actually living and things like that. So what I did was there was a sister who was ill that was pregnant, and I had a friend here that lived here that knew what to do for her as far as getting her medicine for malaria in particular. So we were able to kind of come off the tour and then go to her house and then, go into the neighborhoods and, move around Southern University and, just got a chance to just do something different than you would normally do on a tour. And that's when I said, you know what, I can do this. I can live here. This will be easy for me. I can, I know I don't know everything, but I have people here that's been here for a while, and all I got to do is, make sure my ancestors are close by and that I, be obedient and, listen to the people who have been here for a while. So I said, yeah, I have a 2-year plan to make my move here permanently, and that's exactly what I did. I came back and forth for about 4 or 5 times between 2006 and 2008. And my goal was to be here permanently August 2008, and I missed it by a few months. I got here December 2008 because of different, different obstacles that might have come up, but I was able to come. And when I first came, during that time, I brought it was 7 of us. It was me, 5 of my children, and my mother. And we all came on buddy passes from some friends of ours that only gives their buddy passes to people who are going to Africa. So we were able to come to Ghana for 7 people for less than $3,500 altogether. And we have 4 first-class seats. So that was totally unheard of. You ain't going to hear about it again because it was just for us.
That was amazing.
Each ticket was $464. Yeah, so I think we just have to pay the taxes or something like that. So that's when the ancestors was like, okay, we're going to open it all the way up. Make it very obvious that you're supposed to be on this journey, to come back home. So that's basically how I got started. And so from there, I've been living here. I think that's 14 years now altogether. I got my citizenship just last year, November 27th, just celebrating our 1-year anniversary.
Ooh,
yeah, and
congratulations.
Yeah, and it was a special citizenship. It wasn't just a typical protocol that we normally have to go through. It was done through a petition. And I can talk more, about that a little bit later in the show. But basically, so I've been here. I've had, I've gotten into TV and radio. That just kind of happened. You come here with a certain goal to do certain things, and then the ancestors say, yeah, we'll get around to that, but this is what we want you to do now. And so that's what happened. came up with the African Culture and Wellness Festival in 2009. It was the concept, and then we had the first festival in 2012. So the reason why I got into the media, one, is because I had a lot of clients that just don't know what to do when it comes down to having a plant-based diet and making these changes that they need to make in order to be able to heal. And so, one, I felt we had to come up with, some classes. And then also the TV was for so I can do kind of like a trade-off, so I don't have to pay for advertisement for my event. I did like a trade-off, so I give them some TV content. Let Your Food Be Your Medicine was pretty much the segment, and we used food therapy, and the different recipes. We had the Vegan All-Stars is basically different chefs that have some of the best tasting vegan food, and they have books, cookbooks, or they do classes, or they have restaurants or catering services or what have you. And we just kind of came together here on the grounds and said, okay, let's do this as part of the year-round program for the festival. And then, the cook will come on to do a demonstration of the food, and I would sit on the sofa with the host and talk about all the ingredients and the healing effects of it. And so we had one show, then two shows. By the third show, it was like, this is it. This is a good synergy. Everybody, the producer got the biggest kudos from his bosses and his coworkers, and we were live for about 14 months every Saturday morning on the #1 morning show in Ghana, and I think I was the only Black American or only diasporan on TV at that time, definitely in reference to health and wellness. And because there's other people here that could have did the same thing, but it's like, I know it was a struggle to convince them because of the language barrier. Really, the accent is English speaking here, but really the accent. But at the same time, I'm coming from a place where this is what I do, this is what I live, this is what I believe in, and I know my stuff. So y'all got to let me on because I got something to say.
That's right.
I can help. Right. I can help. So I was able to get that going, and then I got a plane flying over. And then also there was another station, GTV, which is Ghana's first and biggest TV station in all the regions. They because I was always bugging the Ministry of Health department here, is always in their face trying to get endorsements, trying to get support, trying to, get them to come on board with what we're doing for the festival and just different, the Vegetarian Association that's here in Ghana. I was just involved in a lot. So I was just always in their face. So one day someone called from GTV and said, we need someone to come talk on the benefits of fruits and vegetables. And so immediately my name came to mind because I was the only one on their mind. I was there so much. I think everybody knew me. They knew as soon as I pull in, they had a parking space. They just go ahead and say, "Go park right here, Dr. Sharita." Because it's just like okay. And the director, every time he see me coming, was just like, tell her I'm not here. Just tell her I'm not around. I said, "Oh no, I see you, director. I see you."
I tell you,
I need to talk to
you. God works in spiritual ways. God works in spiritual ways, I tell you.
Yes. So it's been, it's been just like you said. It's a lot of different things that I've taken on here and been able to progress a lot. We have our product, New Body Products, which has been around since 1976. And Dr. Paul Goss, my father, is the founder. And we have over 130 products, herbal products on the line. And so we've been doing that here in Ghana as well. And so, and then I'm also just now getting into sort of farming, cashew in particular. We're looking at doing hemp. And I'm also working with a women's farmers association to help get them certain products to the market throughout Africa as well as to the U.S. and Europe. And so that's kind of like my new project, because food is the new currency. Food is the currency, always has been. But it's something that we have to have control over. And because, there's a lot going on here with agriculture and GMO and things like that, I thought it would be very important for me to jump on board of that, because, food is, a big part of my life, and food therapy is a big part of my life. So we have to make sure that we don't end up with the same problems that we have in America due to having genetically modified foods.
Yes, it is a problem. It is a catastrophe to our people. So we've talked about repatriation, you leaving the States and living in Africa now. What were some of the challenges that you faced early on that you now look back at and say, wow?
That's a good question, because I guess I've been here so long, I've just gotten immune to a lot of things. But I would say the biggest challenge is when it came down to people and them being straightforward with things, because people will tell you one thing and then do totally something else, or people will just, kind of just lie to your face. Like, for example, buying land, or, just different things, maybe making purchases, for certain things, and people overcharging, or, just people just even in just friendship and dating and things like that, people just not being, I just never...
transparent.
Yeah, not being transparent, and I just never been lied to like that. and I'm from the hood, so it's just kind of like, I don't know. That was one of the things where it was like, okay, wait a minute, I got to get my head around this piece, because this is not, I didn't come here for that, and I have to figure out, what, why. And then, my father always said that, African people as a whole, all around the world, we are ill because we have been oppressed for so long, so we have to be patient with each other and have an understanding that if you know somebody is ill, then you're going to deal with them in a different way, as if you felt like they were. So basically, I met a brother a few years ago, and he, I told him he should have been at the airport when I first arrived, because he would have made everything clear for me, and I would have been able to deal with things with a different approach. So I asked them, I said, one of the things that people have a hard time with is people just not being straightforward and the lying. It's too much, and he's like, well, you got to understand, the colonial master kind of trained us to be this way. And he said that when the colonial master taught you to tell people what they want to hear and not necessarily the truth. And so when he said that, I lived in Atlanta for 20 years before coming, from L.A. to Atlanta for 20 years before coming to Ghana. And when he said that, living in the South, I totally understood where he was coming from, because in the South, you still have people, older people, who won't look a white man directly in his face when you're speaking to him, and won't be, straightforward. In other words, you see Mr. Charlie, and Mr. Charlie says, hey, Joe, how you doing today? Oh, everything is fine, Mr. Charlie. Everything is, wonderful, Mr. Charlie. And knowing that Mr. Charlie's house is burning down, you're not going to say, oh, well, your house is burning down. You're just going to act like everything is wonderful and everything is good, because you don't want to tell Mr. Charlie that his house is burning down, because Mr. Charlie might think that you're the one that's responsible for his house burning down. So you just tell him what he want to hear, and it's more like a survival tool, a survival mechanism. And so when it was explained to me in this way, I was like, okay, all right, now I can understand. But by this time, I was more trying to get a better explanation to give the people when they come in and say something to me. I had already gotten to the point where I know how to read when somebody's telling me something straight, or know how to ask questions in 5 different angles to be able to get, the truth. So now I'm used to it. So I can see when and when I ask somebody a question, they say, "Oh, yes, yes, yes." I'm like, "No, let me ask again." And then I ask another way, and if I can say anything in the language, and I try to, throw that in there as well. And then I'm able to get to what I need to get to. So it's not so much of a malice intent. It's just more of a survival mechanism. And that's one of the things I think that is very important for people to understand when they're coming here, because when you say something about your mama, like, someone's asking you maybe some money. Oh, I need some money because, my mother, has passed away, and me and my brother here, we're hungry and we need this, that, and the other. And then next thing you know, you see their mama pounding fufu in the house. And it's like,
oh, wow.
Us in the States, we would never put nothing like that on our mom. Or
no, we don't.
Certain lies we just wouldn't tell. It's not that we don't lie, because of course we do. But it's just certain things that we just would not lie about, or we wouldn't do things a certain way, So
sure.
So that's I think that was the biggest challenge, is getting around that. And I did. I was able, just like I explained to you. It's just a matter of, it's like when you're talking to. I have 6 children, so whenever somebody gets in trouble in the house, it's like, okay, who did it? And then you have the extra child, the 7th child. I don't know. That's the 7th child. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Don't live
right. Exactly. So you have to kind of, look them in the eye and ask some questions a certain way, and make certain threats, or what have you, and then eventually you'll get to who's the culprit. So it's kind of like that. So I would say that was my biggest challenge and still my biggest irritation, but it's all part of the pros and cons, of living here in the motherland.
Sure. So let's talk about land. Let's talk about land ownership. There's a misnomer that land is free in Africa. So we're going to clarify that right now for everyone around the world, and those of us that are in the diaspora. Land is not free in Africa. So let's talk about that.
Well, nothing in life is free. Nothing in life is free, if you want to look at it like that. But we do have some lands here that have been allocated to diasporans. In particular, last year, during the year of return, there was a chief. I can't think of his name right now. I think it's Chief Kwabna. But he's in the Cape Coast area and been a chief for a very long time. So he allocated 5,000 acres just to diasporans. They did a big news conference about it. It's been sent on social media all over America, and different people are being interviewed in reference to it. So it is free land. Basically, you're getting, I believe it's a 70 by 100 plot. There is some sort of processing fee. I think it's less than a couple of $100. And then you get the land, and anybody that's 18 or older within the family can get a plot. And basically, you have to build to what they call lintel level or roof level within 2 to 3 years. And then, so that's pretty much the free land that's available now. And there's some other people who kind of allocated, some places in Kumasi, Ashanti area.
Sure.
And a few other
places.
Let's talk about
and
that. Then we have some very cheap land as well.
All right, so let's talk about that for the record now. So we said that there is no free land because there is a processing fee. So you're paying something for the land, right? So you're paying to get the land registered. You're paying the processing fees. You're paying to build a wall around your property to show ownership of that particular land. And as you just mentioned, you have to build, is it the house or the fence roof level high? Is it the fence?
The house to roof level, yeah.
Okay. So again, guys, so those of you that are listening and you're looking for free land in Africa, well, there is no free land in Africa. We've just cleared that up for the record, because you do have to pay processing fees. You do have to pay to get that land registered. So there is a cost, okay, for that. All right. So I just want to kind of clear that up for everyone that's saying that land in Africa is free, because when we start saying that there's free land, then you got people thinking that the land is free. And as you said, nothing is free in the world. Everything costs something.
Yeah, and every piece of land you get, you're going to have to go through registration and processing fees or whatever, and then pay whatever the cost it is for the land. So maybe it's free in the essence of you don't have to pay for the land itself. It's just the processing. But and then of course you because you have a plot of land, it doesn't mean you have the money to build on it. So even if you do get the free land, you still have to come up with the funds to build yourself. And you might be able to get assistance support here to help you do it. But definitely you have to have the funds. And then you have to figure out where you're going to stay while you're building as well. So that's
exactly.
You have to
that has to be calculated.
Yeah.
It has to be calculated into that fee. And then correct me if I'm wrong, but there is a time frame from the moment you purchase land or you invest in your land. You've got 2 years to either build on that land or build a fence on that land and or be living in the land of Ghana, right?
Yeah, well, it depends on where you buy land and the kind of deal that you make with whether it's family land or stool land, chieftaincy land, or what have you. It depends on the deal, but for the most part, most people are you get something what's called an indenture, which is something that leads to you getting your title, and it says that you have to build to lintel level or roof level within 2 to 3 years. Depends on where you're at. The average is between 2 and 3 years that you have to build. And then if you don't, then they have the right to take the land back, or you just come and have some kind of other negotiation. Some people, like with me, I was able to let some farmers just farm on the land. Basically, it shows you that this land is sold and that so it discourages anybody else from coming behind you and trying to buy the same land. So it's good. The best way to claim land here is to get the land and immediately put some kind of structure on it. Or if you have a farmer that can farm on the land, depending on how much land you have, then they're always there. So they'll be the ones that's able to protect the land and say, no, this land belongs to Dr. Sharita or a Black American. They might just kind of describe whatever, and then that discourages other people from buying the land behind you.
Sure. And that makes sense. So I appreciate you for sharing that with us about the land. You've got some initiatives coming up really soon, next year. So let's talk a little bit about that. And then before we get out of here, I'd definitely love for you to tell us a little bit more about the citizenship, the special citizenship petition that worked in your favor. So let's talk about Africa 2021 Year of Healing.
Yeah, so we have the African Culture and Wellness Festival, and this is going to be the first virtual festival because of the times that we're in. We're going to do it virtual, which I'm kind of excited about because I get a chance to make it a little more broad. I can deal with other countries. I don't have to fly. I usually have Muta Baruka and Dr. Aris Latham, a raw food chef, and I've had Queen Afua and Master African Dance teacher Mustafa Bengora. I had different people to come through. This is the 6th edition, and by me doing it this way, I'm able to not have to fly anybody in, for one. It's definitely going to be a lower cost, to do it. But at the same time, I'm going to be able to get more variety. And then I can get people, I might even decide to go to Rwanda. I'm not sure yet, but I can do it from there. You know what I'm saying? I can be anywhere in the world and do it. So this is going to be the first year that we do virtual. And even when we go back into when things become, I won't say back to normal, but when things become better, then we'll be doing, the festival as normal along with the tour. And then we'll continue with the virtual. So this year we do a lot of different workshops in reference to like plant-based diet. We have some different vegan chefs that come through and do some workshops. We have holistic healing, herbal herbalists that will come and show us different home remedies you can do for basic, illnesses that we deal with on a regular basis. We have someone who does natural hair and skin care to get people out of using so many chemicals and come out of these weaves and perms and things like that, so we can stop, harming our body and causing, carcinogens or cancer-causing agents to build up in our bodies. We have, we do a lot of what we call Afro fitness. So we have someone who does African Afro aerobics. We have African traditional dance. We'll do comedic yoga. And we also have capoeira, which is basically an African form of martial arts that's originally from out of Angola and become popular in Brazil. So, and then we have something called the Peanut Butter Kids, which is a year-round program for the children where we get together once a month and do different arts and crafts to preserve the arts of Africa, because that's something that's kind of going out the window as well. Just like in the States, they've taken a lot of the arts programs out, so they're doing the same thing here. So we want to make sure that the children understand that arts is very important because it tells the history and the time of day of a particular race of people in a time. So so we're doing some things with that. And then we have our different artists. Usually we have one international artist and then local artists. And then this time I'll be happy to have somebody from Los Angeles and from Atlanta, some other parts of, we're looking to even get an artist out of Barbados, and of course our artists here in Ghana. Then we also have poetry, we have spoken word. So there's a lot of different things that goes on, and we're it's gonna go on from 12 noon to 6 p.m. GMT time, which is Ghana time, and that's 7 a.m. New York time or Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
And for more information, they can just go to the website, or they can, those numbers that you gave earlier. I'll just give the WhatsApp number. It's best to not call me, but to get me on WhatsApp, because my phone usually after interviews it can really ring. So the WhatsApp is easier for me to communicate with people, and it's the fastest way for me to communicate. And that's 770-316-4217. That's 770-316-4217, and that's WhatsApp.
Okay. And your website for the Africa 2021 Year of Healing, the website is www.acawf.com. www.acawf.com. So I want to make sure that we send our listeners there to support your initiative and be part of this awesome tour and festive event. So, Doc, let's talk a little bit more about, we've got a few moments remaining, let's talk a little bit more about your special conditions of your citizenship petition.
Okay, so December 28, 2016, 34 diasporan Africans who live here in Ghana were able to receive their citizenship here in Ghana based on being a petition that says that we are your children who were stolen away illegally, and we have the right to return, and not to be seen the same as a foreigner, like the China man and the Lebanese man and the Indian man and the white man. So we don't need, we're standing in lines in immigration looking at all these people, and it's like that don't look like us, and we're like, we shouldn't be here. We shouldn't be here. We should be considered differently. We're your children coming back home. You're always asking us about coming and bringing our skills and, our money and this, that, and the other, but you're still not letting us have the citizenship. So it was a long fight over some, years. There's people who have been here almost 50 years, 30 years, and been fighting on the grounds, but it was really a stronger fight, I would say, in the last maybe 10 years, because there was an African diasporan coalition that was put together with about 13 organizations here on the ground, Pan-African organizations on the ground, that came together and said, let's, really try to push this through. And with all of that, it still was having, some run-ins because people, we're having trust issues amongst each other. We don't want to give up our information of what we're doing. We don't want everybody to know what, the money that we bring in, and, just a bunch of things that we normally do, as people when it comes down to how we don't trust each other. So that kind of got in the way. Then a few people said, let's just go ahead and just go in together and try to do it. And then that was going a normal way, which you have to be here like 7 years to even qualify for the normal process. And so then that wasn't really working. So then there was a Dr. Mulana, who's a African historian here from out of the States. I want to say Detroit, but he's been here for a long time, like more than 30 years. And so he's always been teaching African studies at the Du Bois Center. Just I think it was every Saturday or Sunday for about 10 years, and he's had lots of different people to come through and different students. And so one of his mentees actually grew up to become the secretary to the president at the time, President Mahama, in 2016. So he was able to get to him and say, look, you're the secretary. I need you to get something to the president. This is a petition for me to get my citizenship, and based on me being a stowaway and taken here illegally, and I want the right to return. And then he just basically put his information, who he was, what he's done since he's been here in Ghana, how many people he's might have helped through employment, or if he has an NGO, just whatever, all the information, about himself. Put the petition in. The secretary slid it through, and then he said, okay, we're going to give him citizenship. So he got it. So basically what he did was say, okay, look, this is what I did. And it was the same petition that we had talked about in the first place. It was the same petition we had talked about during the times when we were all coming together. It's just that he decided, let me just go ahead and do it on my own and see what happens, because he has somebody on the inside. So basically, he decided, okay, I have mine. I'm going to show you, we're going to do the same. I'm going to show you exactly what I did. You're going to take my petition, put your name, put your information, put everything that you've done, and then we're going to all come together and then submit it, to through the same process. So some people did it. Some people, was skeptical about the process. I was one of them. I was kind of skeptical. I was like, okay, let me see what happens to y'all first. One of those type of things. And so basically,
that's a brilliant idea.
So basically they put in so many applications. I can't remember how many it was, but out of the ones they submitted, 34 people were actually able to get their citizenship on December 28th, 2016. So this 28th of this year is going to be the 4-year anniversary of the first time that African diasporans has received citizenship based on that petition in the history of Africa.
Oh, wow.
So,
that's a milestone.
So after that, it's a serious milestone, because we're talking about 400 years plus, right? So
yes.
It was a very big deal. I was there to be able to witness it. I think more than half the people that was there, I knew them. I've been knowing for a long time. And I was just really happy to see it, to be a part of it, just to witness it, right? So then those 34 people decided, you know what, this doesn't mean anything if we can't help other people get their citizenship, especially the people who've been living here on the grounds, working hard, been fighting for the same position and saying that we want our citizenship too, because we're tired of paying immigration fees every year. We're tired of paying the old Bruni price, the foreigner's price for everything. We're tired of this, tired of that, and we want to be able to be back home as citizens. We want to be part of this republic. So they put together a couple of organizations. One is called the Ministry of the Future, which is with Dr. Malana. And then we have BADA, which is the Bureau of African Diasporan Association or something like that. And so and then the couple of other organizations that's under the African Diasporan Coalition also help their people to process their applications or their petitions. So it took another 3 years for that group to help other people. And in November 2019, November 27th, 126 more people were able to get their citizenship. And I was part of the 126. And I was number 103, to be exact. So we were able to get the citizenship, and then there's another 126 that wasn't able to get it at that time, but they're going to be getting theirs pretty soon as well. I think probably before the year ends, or definitely before, March next year, as part of the year of return. The beyond the return. Yeah. So, and then from there's other people that has started the process of putting their petition in. So it's open for other people to come and put their petition in. But one of the requirements that they do ask as far as Ghana, which is through the African Diasporan Affairs Department, is that they ask that people at least live here, a good 6 months plus. The other thing that's on the table now that has come out of that, because there's been a serious fight, and the ancestors been just opening up the way. It's just like pushing the right people in the place. Somebody's in these, our ancestors are in their ears, in their dreams at night. It's, we're in their water, we're in their food, some kind of way. We are always on their mind about, us coming home and being treated as as family. So they have something on the table called the Homeland Act, which is basically saying your skin color is your passport. And if you decide that you want to get citizenship in Ghana, and I think they're going to try to push this throughout all of Africa, but right now it's Ghana. The Homeland Act is just going to saying that, you come home, you bring your skills, bring your resources, come home, get some land, and set yourself up, and then we'll make it easier for you to get your citizenship. You don't have to go through these petitions. It'll be part of the Constitution. Yeah, so that's what's on the table now. Elections is today for the new president and new members of parliament, and we'll see what's going to come out of that. But each one of the presidents that's running, they both, well, first of all, the two that's running have been running for the last few elections, and both of them have already given us citizenship. One, President Muhammad gave the first 34. Then he ran again and he lost to this president that we have now. This president, President Otto, has given us the 126. And so between the two, they're both on that same agenda of making sure that Africans, at least that's on the ground from the diaspora, are getting citizenship if they choose to.
Wow. Now, that is news. That is music. That's what our people in the diaspora need to know about, because oftentimes you hear people saying, oh, I want to go to Africa. Oh, no, I don't want to go to Africa. It's so hard. What am I going to do? How am I going to survive? Well, you have just laid out the blueprint for those that are interested in coming to Ghana to live, that there's opportunity to work, to thrive, to live, to invest in one's future. So I appreciate and applaud you all for the great work that you have done and for everything that you have accomplished and those things that you are currently working on right now. It is just it's amazing, and I am so elated to myself be able to come and visit Ghana as well, and to invest in land and property and following the footsteps that came before me. So I'm just eternally grateful for everything that you all are doing with Dr. Malana and yourself and the other organizations. Everyone is coming together for a common cause, One Africa. And I'm just so excited.
It's just time to come home. It's just time to come home. It's time. Whether you come in here to live or play, vacation, whatever, or you need to come and make your connection. And even if you don't live here, but invest here. You know, make a connection with somebody, like you buying African clothes from the Chinaman out there in downtown L.A. You got somebody right here that can make your clothes, and you buying directly from, you know, even if it's just something as simple as that. Come here and open up a bank account, you know, but just try to make some kind of connection that you can keep, you know, for a lifetime.
And in closing, Dr. Sharita, if I may, you had a special mentor. You had a special mentor there as well, who you have learned from, Mama Amakas. Can we talk a little bit about that relationship and how that has helped you along the way with the skills and with the connections that you were able to accomplish there in Africa?
Yeah, I mean, she's responsible for so much of my being here and others as well. I mean, she's our mother. She's our mother. She really has that spirit of One Africa. That's actually the name of her business, her restaurant and guest house. And it's right on the beach. It's a very beautiful place. And it was one of the places that I frequently visit, especially when my children were here. It was, as far as they're concerned, One Africa is its own country. I tell Ma all the time, I said, One Africa is the smallest country in the world, according to my children. And, you know, anytime I needed something, whether it was something like a phone number or a resource or a shoulder to cry on because it's like, oh, my God, I don't get it. What's going on? She's able to explain it. You know, and, you know, we just became close. We've even traveled together. We spent time in Brazil together for about a month. I went for my 40th birthday and just wanted to spend, you know, the whole time there, and she came with me. You know, we've traveled to the U.S. before, and I'm even trying to go see her in Rwanda. And we just, you know, she's my other mother, my biological mother. I love her dearly. She's still with us, and she's in the United States. And I think it was even a relief for her, for me to be able to have a Ghana mother over here, especially when she got to know her and meet her. I think it kind of took a little weight of worry off of her. And so she's been here for out of Brooklyn, New York, or is it Bronx? Brooklyn or Bronx. And she's been here over 30 years, and she's just been on the ground. She's also one of the first 34, of course, to get her citizenship. And she's been helping a lot of people. She was the one to make sure that mine got pushed through. She was at the government saying, look, if y'all don't get anybody else citizenship, this woman right here, you better put it through. You know, so she's just one of those people that really has your back, what we call ride or die out of Compton, that ride or die chick that really makes sure that whatever she says she's going to do it. She goes out, people ask her to do certain things, and I'm just like, Ma, I mean, why are you doing that? Do you know how to say no? You know, she said, yeah, I know how to say no. I know when to say no. I know what, I was like, I ain't never seen it. I never seen it. You know, she just one of those people that just really. That is the spirit of Mama. Yeah, and she knows a lot. You know, she knows a lot. She keeps herself sharp. She does, you know, the social media. I think I seen the video on the platform. She's dancing with the youth. And, I mean, she was dancing with it. She was getting it.
She was getting it and getting it good. She was cutting the rope.
Okay.
Boy.
Yeah. And
say, oh,
she
baby.
just has a lot of energy.
she told me, she said, "Hey, baby, you ain't seen nothing. I was just getting started. I was just messing around."
No, you haven't seen. No, I mean it's something, and she's just a jewel. You know, she loves life. She and you know, when you're that way, people, they don't even have to know you. They just see your spirit. She just went to Rwanda about a year ago, and just in the first few months, people, you know, because she goes walking, and they just like, okay, this old lady, how's she able to? Because she'll be 80 years old next year, and you would never know it. You would never know it. She still will put a bikini on and walk on the beach.
She looks good, too. She looks
and
good.
Still look good.
I would have never imagined that she was 80 years old. Not at all.
No.
Young.
No, she doesn't move like it. She doesn't act like it. I mean, I don't even know how really, you know, you're supposed to act, because I come from a family. My parents were like, you do what you're supposed to be doing. You tell everybody your age, and people won't believe you anyway. So I'm 50 with 6 kids, 4 grandchildren, and people don't believe I'm my age either. So these are people that I get my inspiration from. So every time I talk to her, I'm just like, she's funny. She's very comical, and she just knows what to say. She just has it. You know, she really moves with the ancestors and really try and really is obedient. And she just a person to watch, to pattern your whole life after. You know, mind, body, and spirit. She just, you know, she eats healthy, and she's vegetarian. I would say probably 90% of the time. You know, and like you said, she'll go dancing, she walks, she just has a lot of energy. So she's also been very heavy on the political scene, and not just in Ghana but in Africa. So she keeps her ear to the ground. So anytime I have a question about something, or even if I see something just ain't right, and I just feel like, okay, as an elder, you should know this, you should know that. And then she'll tell me, okay, well, do this and do that, or let me talk to the person, or let me, you know, and then she'll straighten it out. You know, and she don't play. She don't joke around. She's really a sweet person, but she has a real serious side that, you know, you decide you want to cross her. You know, she's from New York. You don't do it. You just don't do it. You think about it, you know. So, yeah, she's really a jewel, and I just encourage anybody who has a chance to come here to Ghana to definitely go to One Africa, which is her place in Elmina, next to Cape Coast, and her place is actually sitting between the 2 castle dungeons, one of Elmina, and the other one is Cape Coast.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've heard about that. And you know what? We are looking forward to interviewing Mama Amicus as well.
She definitely. It'll be a wonderful interview.
Yes. We are definitely going to interview her. So, again, Dr. Sharita, it has been an honor and a pleasure having you on this show today. I'll make sure you get a copy of the link of our show today. Did you have any final words that you'd like to share with our listeners or anyone in the diaspora looking forward to coming to Africa? What would you say to them?
Just come home. Just come home. Just make the trip. Don't have any expectations. Go online, find the ticket, pay for the ticket, and come. And there's different protocols we have to go through during this time, but find your way out of that place and come home and bring your ancestors with you and do that spiritual detox, you know, for the first week, 2 weeks, or what have you, and then get yourself immersed into the land and see what opportunities are here for you. That's all. As we say here, that's all.
Beautiful. I certainly appreciate that.